Hello everybody, so we are back with The Flash. Sorry we are a little bit late on the review. A lot of things happened and we're a little bit, busy and just a lot of things interfering, but we have not forget about The Flash, but we are reviewing today The Flash Season 5, Episode 10.
Boom.
The Flash and the Furious. So this is
obviously
basically
is a pun of
the
Fast and Furious
because of what happened in the episode.
Yes, exactly.
But what is it in this one? Let's see. It's pretty much, this is after all the Elseworld stuff, and they are continuing on this the case of the Weather Witch.
Right.
So it was her case
with a little twist.
So it was her case that Cecile was pretty much, what was she doing going up against?
She was the prosecutor in that case, and it was her first case back after her maternity leave. But as you guys know, Cecile has the ability to read minds, but some of it has been kind of passed down to her child.
Yeah.
But she still gets here and there flashes of it.
Yeah.
She is prosecuting the Weather Witch, which is the daughter of the guy,
the weather storm guy in from season 1. Yeah, so in the process of doing this, she was able to read some resentment from the Weather Witch, and wanted to go again on trial to probably give her some sentimental and not send her to sentence life, but
give her a lighter punishment.
Yeah, but she still gets sentenced to it, and on her way to prison, Iron Heights, we get Silver Ghost who interrupts.
Yes, so the main message idea behind this episode came from the fact that, as you guys know, before Elseworlds, Nora had went back to the future, and she confronted Thawne about all the stuff that she learned about what Thawne did to Barry and why her dad hates Thawne so much.
Yeah.
So this whole episode is focused around the idea of second chances and forgiving. And somehow how some villains, they're villains, but they change and they become good. And so she had this, after learning everything about Thawne from Barry, which Thawne didn't tell her, she felt that if you're a villain, you're a villain.
You're bad.
You would never be able to change to good. So Cecile, and so that's the whole idea. Cecile was like, she felt sadness and sorrow from the Weather Witch. And so she wanted to make a lighter punishment, but because Nora was the prime witness kind of way, Nora didn't let her off and got her to a life sentence. Then obviously we have the Silver Ghost. Yeah, Silver Ghost showed up.
She is a former.
She's like a former special forces kind of person in the army.
Yeah, but what happened?
And she ended up being honorably discharged after she was removed from the front lines to behind the desk, and that she was honorably discharged, but there was nothing about it. So essentially, she was used as a cover-up for something, which made her become bitter towards the government.
Yeah, so she was able to attain Metatech.
Yeah.
And so her Metatech was a car key, and it can get any car to turn into like a meta.
Yeah.
Pretty much tech. So it don't matter. As long as she has that, it can get itself connected to whatever car, and that car becomes a meta tech for her.
Right. But the little thing about it is some metas with their meta tech are more focused meta powers. Hers is, it's very random. She gets control of the cars, and then the car gets overloaded with dark matter, and it's very unstable. So when Barry and Nora tried to go and stop her, Barry touched the car,
phasing into it.
Yeah, and when he touched the car through the phasing, the energy, the dark matter energy from the car that was being generated by the Metatech was transferred into him and unstabilized him. So he was kept in a constant phase.
Yeah, and like it was just going to destroy him. So he needed to fall into
the pipeline.
the pipelines, and it would stabilize him.
Right. They would dampen the dark
phasing
matter
and everything.
And but the only problem is because it was so much, he had to stay there for 24 hours.
Yeah.
So he couldn't be out there helping them, and
Yeah,
Nora had to take over.
Nora had to take over. Nora was like getting confused on everything, you know. She talked to, you know, she was able to talk to Barry while Barry was in there, and Barry is pretty much telling his own daughter that, like, there are some people where they can actually change,
Yes.
you know? And that's like, he brought up Lionel Snart, Captain Cold, that when he met Captain Cold was
Civilian Cold, whatever.
he was like this villain, but today he is actually a captain of the Legends, you know. And so there's some people where you just gotta trust in them and they can change. That got Nora to go back and try to make changes to the Weather Witch, and did make changes to the Weather Witch, and
well, the Weather Witch had already been changed, but
Nora didn't believe
her. And the thing about what they kind of show is that for a villain like her, she's tempted only if you tempt her and force her to be bad. But if you give her a good outlook, then she will change.
Yeah.
And Nora, after talking to her mom and talking to Barry and talking to everyone else, she kind of realized that, and so she with the help of Killer Frost, they went to stop the Weather Witch and the Silver Ghost, because those two had gone to Argus to get a meta car, essentially.
It's always
yes.
Argus.
So Argus had developed this car that obviously looks just like Vin Diesel's muscle car in Fast and Furious. That's why it's called the Flash and Furious. So it looked just like his muscle car, but then this thing was decked out with technology beyond imaginable. It had the abilities of phasing, invisibility. It literally is a supercar, and
it can go off the grid.
Yeah,
people cannot track it, and all this stuff like that.
And so they were able to stop them by Nora being able to talk to Weather Witch and convinced her to stop all of this, and she did. So Weather Witch goes back to jail, and so does Silver Ghost. So that's how they ended that chase.
Yeah, and then on the side we get Cisco and Caitlin.
Yes, that one was vital.
So Cisco figured out some of the stuff. Like he was able to Caitlin was able to get out everything from the blade out of his hands. So with the curing, he will be able to vibe at full speed again. But he discovers something else.
Yes.
And that is he figured it out, and he said we can actually create a cure for meta-humans.
Right. So initially, Caitlin thought that that Cicada's weapon was a meta power dampening material. But in reality, what it is a meta reversing.
Yeah.
It turns you normal.
Yeah.
And so what was going on was the pieces that were in Cisco's hands were undoing his meta powers little by little.
It was not stealing his vibing.
Right.
It was connecting with him.
Right.
And
it was taking it away.
Getting rid of the vibing slowly, so he was going to become normal again. And he realized that by studying it, and he wanted to take that and create a serum to cure all metahumans and save pretty much Central City and everything.
Right.
And so him and Caitlin gets into this debation argument.
Right.
Caitlin's like, what if some people don't want to be cured? What if the meta stuff that happened to them was the best and they don't want to?
Right.
And he's like, no, this is stuff that, Dawn created. What's his name? DeVoe and everything. We created all this stuff. People didn't choose to be meta-humans, meta-tech and stuff like that. We could put an end to it. But Caitlin has been missing Killer Frost for so long, and she was able to connect with Killer Frost. She couldn't let go of Killer Frost. Because her Killer Frost it's pretty much become like a part of her, a bond, and it's like what she's trying to speak to some people, that what if meta stuff that happened to us is not bad and it became something good for us,
Right.
valuable, and we don't want it removed.
Right, and she comes from a very special place because hers is completely different from everybody else's. Hers was developed through a different process, while everyone's was through everyone that we know currently, other than her and her dad, was
Everything-
through dark matter came from the dark matter of the
Accelerator.
acceleration particle explosion.
And the satellite from DeVoe.
And even the satellite was a result of the particle accelerator blowing up, hitting DeVoe with his thinking cap. So, what's that word? Killer Frost and Caitlyn, they're completely different from everybody else because everybody else is kind of like one person. They're like two.
Two combining
Yeah,
one.
so she has a very, very special connection with her meta powers. Now, it's a little interesting because Cisco, the lines they gave for Cisco was kind of like a shade of the Justice League stories of the humans, how they always say, it's because of you superheroes.
Yeah.
That's why there's villains.
That's what, like, not Caitlyn. Cisco had a line in there. It's like, I want to go back to
Yeah.
my normal life of
Yeah.
who I was, like how he was in season 1, without the superhero, and leave all of that behind.
Right.
And Caitlyn's defense is like, it's like, for me, I don't want to go
What
back
if we
to
don't?
that.
Yeah, what if we don't want to?
Yeah, she goes, what if I love what I have right now? I love Killer Frost, and she's a part of me, and we interact and we bond really well. I don't want to end her.
Yes.
So, but while you do, some people don't want to.
Right.
Yeah.
And so they came to an ultimate conclusion that Caitlyn was going to help him harness the meta powers
From her dad's lab.
from using the knowledge from her dad's lab combined with the meta tech from Cicada's weapon and develop a serum. But then they would not force it upon meta humans to become humans again. They would only do it by choice. So it's kind of interesting because it's like by doing that, Cisco kind of pulls character ideas from like Lex Luthor in a way. Yeah, of I want to force everybody. Yeah, so it was kind of cool.
And then, all of that aside, we get Nora. After
Yes.
everything is done, Nora returns back to 2048 to see 49 to see Thawne again, and says that she will give him a second chance. She's not going to trust him, but she will give him a second chance, and she will help him, and he will help her as well.
Yes.
And here's the little tricky part. He looks at this clock and he goes, I'm running out of time.
Yeah, so it looks like he's locked in that cell and he's on
Time.
death row in a way.
Yeah.
He looks like he's going to die. There's a certain amount of time has left, and then they're going to kill him. So he still has this ultimate scheme of using her for his own good. Because the thing is, guys, Thawne, I think we can all agree, Thawne's completely bad.
Yeah.
He's not. There's no shades of good in him anymore. He's completely bad, and because bad people will only go, especially bad speedsters, will only run back in time to kill someone to stop another person from being a speedster. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah.
So,
And we get that, so we ended with them, and we get Sherlock is
Yes.
cracking the code of Nora's book.
yeah, so he's deciphering the book without people's knowledge. But then the craziest thing is, I think he's learning all of this, and I have a feeling that he's actually come in contact with Eobard Thawne
Yeah,
at some point somehow.
so what he did was he was able to remember before Elseworld crossover. He was able to decipher with time is malleable.
Yes.
And then he, in this episode, he asked Barry, when you came out with that language, only Cisco was able to decoded by this house is bitching. Do you know what it is? And he goes, no. And so he goes, okay, nothing. But he was able to slowly get more information, and he found out about Gideon, because they were like, Gideon couldn't be like, she couldn't decode it. So he went and talked to Gideon, and Gideon was like, welcome. What did she say?
She called him. She just knows him. She automatically knows him as Harrison Wells.
Oh, Harrison Wells. And then so he's like, yes, I'm Harrison Wells. Give me information on Nora West Allen. And she goes, all data has been erased.
Right.
By who? Nora. So Nora has erased everything about herself.
Now, as you guys know, the language Nora's writing is the same language that is in the Book of Time that the Monitor used during the crossover.
Yeah, and
so Nora's,
it was also on DeVoe's face when he was in his chair.
Yes, and Barry was writing it because he learned, because when Barry was stuck in in his prison, he was trapped in a timeless dimension where he saw future, past, present, all at once. So that's what really messed with his mind. So I still believe that Nora Kane has come into contact with the Monitor, and she has learned how to write her own time book. By writing a time book, you can change time and not mess it up, because you kind of booklogged it, so it's locked. And I think that I also think that that Sherlock Wells, because we all know now, Sherlock Wells knows who Jay Garrick is.
Yeah.
He knows who the other Flashes are.
Yeah.
He's been to other universes. So that's why I look at it and say, well, of course he can decode this, because he's been to multiple universes, and he's going to learn the truth of what Nora really is doing.
So, enough with that episode. For the preview for next week, or coming up Tuesday already, it's called Seeing Red. What happens in this episode?
In this episode,
the preview.
They learn about Cicada's true goal, and that is he is out there to kill all metas. He, instead of like Cisco, who wants to just take away the meta powers, he wants to take away the meta people. So he's just like, screw it, I don't care. I'm a meta with the power of God to strike you guys down.
Yeah.
So he's on his mission to kill all the metas, in which they know that, and they go and round up all the metas.
Yeah, and they're trying to do that, and then in the process of it, Nora gets stabbed by him in the back, and she's not able to heal herself anymore. So her legs are like paralyzed, like how Barry was once in one of the season by Zoom.
Right, but it's even worse because
he can still heal.
He can still heal. Hers,
she can't.
Remember, meta reducing.
Yeah, so that's what happens. It's happening to her. So Barry and Iris are now like, they need to save Nora, because if they don't save Nora, she doesn't exist. She's gone. She's done. And so it pretty much upsets Barry. So Barry decides to be like, you know what? I'm not going to fight him meta way. I'm going to fight him one-on-one.
Right.
He's an uncle. I'm a father.
Right.
We're going to fight that way, and we're going to figure things out.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much what's going to happen between them.
Yeah. Because it almost looks like, when Cicada's not holding his weapon, he has no powers. He has powers to call the weapon to him, but he doesn't have powers to do anything else without the weapon in his hand. So he has to actually use the weapon to dampen the powers, and then he has to kill them bare hands. And I think that's the whole idea. So Barry gets so pissed off that he's like, go ahead and dampen my powers.
I'm just gonna fight you
don't need
regularly.
speed to kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just pretty much Barry's gonna come engage with Cicada for the next episode.
Yeah, he's gonna have to think hard.
But yeah, that is it for this week's Flash episode.
Hi, Aiden. The return of Aiden.
Do you like the Flash or Ant-Man?
Ant-Man.
We had a little thing to do with it. We introduced this little man to Ant-Man.
Yes.
And he is obsessed with it.
Yes.
And for Christmas, Ajushi decides to get him a huge
It was
Ant-Man.
the perfect gift.
and Anthony.
Yes.
So Ant-Man was riding on Anthony. And it was like the best thing he's ever had. And my brother is like, I have a collection of Aquaman. My brother is like all into Aquaman. He's having all these Aquaman figures and everything. And he's all like, look at my Aquaman. And this kid goes, so my Ant-Man and Anthony is 2 times bigger than your Aquaman's figure. I'm like, damn. It's all Ajushi's fault.
Yeah. So,
But yeah, kind of off topic there. But yes, that's pretty much it for The Flash Season 5, Episode 10.
Yep.
The Flash and the Furious. And we will see you guys for Episode 11, Seeing Red. And hopefully we will get our review up on Saturday instead of
hopefully.
Sunday.
Yes.
So,
Watch the
Yeah.
new video of Ant-Man.
okay. Alright, we'll see you guys next time.
Bye-bye.
bye.
Bye.